Hey, Viking fans, this is Keith Millard, and you are listening to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. Go Vikes.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupicus Show, another edition of the Sniper Series where we bring on a team that is drafting right around the Vikings to have them help us prepare mentally, emotionally, in case they pull the almighty snipe and take somebody that the Vikings want. Today's episode, we got Brandon from the Philly podcast. All the links will be down in the description as always. Check out the Philly podcast. Very laid back, fun podcast to watch. They're good guys. Brandon, how the hell are you doing today?
Doing good, man. You know, it's the middle of the week, hump day. I mean, I can't complain. 2 more days and it's the weekend, and then one whole week and we're at the draft, baby.
Yeah. We're going to be sweating bullets. Eagles pick 12. Vikings are 14. So there's a little bit of buffer there, but this is familiar territory. Last year, Eagles picked 21. Vikings picked 22. The Eagles had the Vikings shitting their pants last year. I mean, we know how that went down. Vikings fans, majority of them wanted Justin Jefferson. So we figured Eagles get on the clock. It's over. It's a done deal.
Right.
You gave us a little bit of gift there, which I appreciate. In return, you get Eric Wilson and Anthony Harris.
True. I mean, I forgot about that. I forgot that they're both Vikings and they both came on over. So
yeah, you got some steals there too. They got signed some pretty friendly contracts.
Right. Now, it seems like it's like a prove it contract, kind of like, all right, if you guys kill it this season and really help out, then next year when we actually have money, then we can work out something longer term.
Yeah, they'll be pretty good. Eric Wilson, dude, is a playmaking machine, and both undrafted guys. They're hungry. You're gonna love them.
Nice.
You will love them. But let's talk draft. So Philly, like I said, picking 12. Watching some of your guys' shows, it appears that you might not be overly thrilled with the fact that they traded back to 12, at least this early. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, so when the trade happened, I thought it was very premature. Like, I'm okay with trading back. I get it. As Eagles fans, we have to come to grips that we went on a nice run. We won the Super Bowl. We won the division multiple times, and we were in the playoffs for like 3 years in a row. And then this year of just straight disaster happened. And then we lost everyone. We lost our coach. We lost our quarterback and everything like that. So everything has just been a roller coaster. And to top that off, Howie Roseman, our GM, decides, you know what? Let me prematurely trade the 6th overall pick back to 12 to the Dolphins, who just traded for a boatload of picks from that number 3 spot. They weren't desperate to come to that number 6 spot. They weren't like, we need to be in that top 10. Otherwise, they would have gave us a better deal, I want to feel like. Like, if you hold on to that 6th pick, you could either trade on draft day or close to draft day, see who wants to move up, what more could you get, and worst comes to worst, let's say none of the trades fall through, you're drafting at number 6. That's the worst of the worst. You're taking a premier player no matter what, and those top 5, top 10 are pretty much dummy-proof picks. You figure the top 3 picks this year are going to be quarterbacks. So that means you basically have a top 3 pick in a sense if you're at 6 for any other position, which is just, it's a luxury to have. This, I mean, it's not something you want, but when your team stunk, I mean, that's what you get. You get a good draft pick, and to trade back so early, I just didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, if Carson Wentz plays a certain amount, don't you guys have like 18 first-round picks next year?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, is next year we'll have 3 first-round picks if Carson Wentz plays as he should and plays like 75% of the snaps for the season. But if he doesn't and he gets hurt or anything like that, then we're looking at two first rounds, 2 second-round picks, and then the list goes on. But I think that if you could have waited, probably would have gotten the same deal. Like I said, the Dolphins, there's no way that they were hungry to get that up early into the draft, because they just traded their pick. So I just felt like it was like, oh, teams are making moves. I got to make one now. I got to do it now instead of just waiting.
The roller coaster, man. Roller coaster. Let's talk some needs for Philly. I think out of the teams I've talked to, we've talked to the Cowboys, we've talked to the Chargers. I think Philly might actually be the team that doesn't have the exact same needs as the Vikings. So give me your top 3 needs for the Eagles at pick 12, round 1.
Yeah. And I mean, just a real quick, just to be the cherry on top, not only did we trade back, but we traded back behind the Cowboys and Giants. So now we have our two division rivals picking right in front of us back to back, and then it's us. So they're going to end up drafting like Hall of Fame players, and we'll get stuck with some guy.
Oh, shit.
But
Brandon's fired up on a Wednesday morning. I love it, man. I love it.
But our top needs, I mean, even if we stayed at 6, we have a lot of holes on this team. We took I think 3 or 4 wide receivers last year, and yet that's still one of the positions of need. I know Eagles fans, including myself, were hoping for a guy like Jamar Chase or even a Kyle Pitts that you can move from tight end to wide receiver and be that weapon. Chances are they're not going to be there at 12. So now we're going to have to suck that up and be like, all right, that's out the window. So I've been hearing rumors about Eagles excited about Christian Barmore from Alabama, the defensive tackle. Howie Roseman loves the defensive line. He loves to booster the defensive line. When we won the Super Bowl, that was our strongest position right there. We were able to rotate in all our defensive linemen between tackles and ends and really have a rotation going where the quarterback was always rushed and our defensive backs got to play well because our front seven was great. We're kind of missing that. Last year, Fletcher Cox went down against the Cowboys at the end of the season. And all of a sudden, we got no pass rush. And then they end up just scoring. And you can tell that, yes, we could benefit from another defensive lineman to come in. So when a guy like Fletcher Cox or Javon Hargrave goes down or goes at least on break, we still have that pass rush. So I know that's a guy that we're looking for. But then the Eagles also, granted, we did get, like you said, Eric Wilson, but linebacker is still up for debate. We drafted 2 young guys last year that didn't see the field much at all. And I don't know if it's because of their play, is it because they were needing to learn more and it's just developmental process. But those are 2 guys between Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley that we need to be able to see. But until then, a guy like Micah Parsons falls to 12. That's enticing. That's someone that we could maybe grab right there. And then for the number 3, I mean, that was it. Wide receiver, defensive tackle or defensive line, and cornerback.
So when you say defensive line, are you talking more D tackles or do you guys think you have your eyes on some edge rushers?
It's tough. I mean, I know some people would like an edge rusher. I just don't know if there is one at that number 12 spot that would be. I personally would even go for defensive line that early in draft. I think we can get someone later in the draft, 2nd, 3rd round. I'm pretty sure we have 2 third-round picks. So we can get someone later in the draft. I really believe that if a guy like Micah Parsons falls to 12, you got to grab Micah. And then you got your 2 premier corners sitting there, possibly between Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, and then Caleb Farley is another guy that people are talking about. So there's a chance that one of the top corners are going to be there. There's a chance that Micah Parsons is going to be there. And then there's obviously the wide receivers, the Devontae Smith. Is he going to fall out of the top 10? Jalen Waddle, he had a promising season until he got hurt. Is that someone that we want to risk our draft pick on? I mean, the Eagles, we have the smaller speedsters. Granted, Jalen Waddle might be better than Jalen Reagor, but that's also names I'm hearing. I think Mel Kiper had his mock draft recently where he has Jalen Waddle going to the Eagles. So it's tough. I know me personally, I would go defense at that 12 pick. Number 6, Jamar Chase all day. If he's there, I'm taking Jamar Chase all day, then Kyle Pitts, then one of the defense. But now that we're at 12, unless we trade back into the top 10 for some reason.
Hey, it could happen, man.
And that's the thing. It can happen. This is the roller coaster.
Personally, I'm hoping the Eagles are a team that just throws a complete curveball. I hope they take somebody that's just completely effed that nobody's expecting. Not that I want them to be bad, but we need some of those picks. And I think this will be the year that there are some weird ass picks, whether that's the Eagles,
right.
Or probably the Vikings for all I know. But when I look at the Eagles, I mean, a lot of the mocks what's the best case scenario that's still mildly realistic? I mean, is it a Surtain or who's that guy that's like number 1?
I think realistically, I mean, I keep saying Micah because the host of Philly Joe, he's big on Micah Parsons, giant Penn State fan, so he's kind of embedded it in my brain for Micah Parsons. But chances are he's not going to make it out the top 10. So, like you said, like a Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn, I like J.C. Horn's attitude. The Eagles really need a corner. If you can get a young one that's really talented to play opposite of Slay and learn from Slay, and then have the other young guys we have develop, that would be great. We've been slacking in the defensive back position for years now. We've been fortunate, like I said earlier, to have that front seven that really benefits defensive backs. When your front seven can rush the quarterback and really get them all flustered, then your defensive backs play better. But we haven't had like the duo corners for a very long time that can just hold their own.
Is it fair to say that offensive line is not even on the table in round one for the Eagles?
That's the thing. That's another thing. This is the roller coaster. This is Howie Roseman trading up and trying to grab pie. If the only way I'd be okay if like you trade up for some reason, maybe you trade Zach Ertz because he just doesn't want to be on the team, and you trade the 12th pick and you're able to move back up without giving up a future first. I'm okay with that. And let's say Sewell falls, then I get it. I understand, because at the end of the day, offensive linemen, that's the key to success on offense. If you have a bad offensive line, you're hit. So I could see that. I do think we do have two left tackles that are good, or at least that seem good with Jordan Mailata. He's a big physical dude that played rugby, and this was his first time getting snaps out there ever in his career of playing football. And he held his own. He did pretty well. Obviously, there's things to work on, but hearing other offensive linemen, veterans and stuff talk about him and say good things, that's promising. And then we also spent a first-round pick on Andre Dillard a couple years ago. He hasn't really seen the field. He was a backup at one point to Jason Peters, and then he got hurt last year. So we're still waiting to see, is he the answer? And then we have three offensive linemen, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, and Lane Johnson. When healthy, create one of the best offensive lines in the league. So I
I mean, you guys seem to be pretty set there. Selfishly, like I said, I need some weird. I need a Slater or somebody random to miraculously fall in the Vikings' laps. So that's what I'm holding out for. It's a little bit of a pipe dream. Who's one player that the Eagles could take that could be a surprise pick? Just kind of like, all right, that makes sense, but nobody was really projecting them there.
Man, I don't know. The biggest surprise would be just like a random quarterback or someone that I'm scared that at the 6th pick, it's like I said earlier, is dummy proof in a sense. Like you can pick any spot and you're good. With the 12th pick, you're kind of going into that zone of like, all right, you're kind of reaching at players. You're hoping for the best because those top 10 guys are gone. And now you're hoping. And I don't know with Howie, just like he did with that 20, we had, like you said, we had Justin Jefferson right there. We had a guy that played in the SEC, that played against the best of the best in college football. And then we went for a guy at TCU that was more of a specialist than anything. And so a quarterback, I wouldn't even know which one, because at this point, people were saying at one point Mac Jones was supposed to fall, and now he might be a top 3 pick. So I have no idea. I'm pretty sure last time when we talked, when you were on our podcast, it was just like Mac Jones was like, maybe he'll fall to 15 to the Patriots or in the 20s. And now a week away, he's maybe top 3. So I have no idea, but grabbing any kind of quarterback this year would that would be a surprise.
Well, and Schefter just tweeted out that the Eagles head coach just said that a quarterback is an open competition. He's not handing it. There's nobody a starter right now. So if a Trey Lance or a Mac Jones is there and that was actually the pick, would your TV still be attached to the wall, or would it be out in the yard? I mean, would you be fine with one of those two?
I might be fine with Trey Lance. It would be kind of funny that I had never heard of North Dakota State in my life. And then we go ahead, we get Carson Wentz. That doesn't work out. So let's double dip in the North Dakota State college quarterback realm. Like that would be kind of wild to me.
Fantastic.
But for a guy that shows, but then if you go Trey Lance, is like, what don't you see in Hurts? Because they seem like similar players. Whereas Hurts has played with the 2 biggest college organizations and was a Heisman finalist. I know Trey Lance has good attributes in his stats. Like I think he threw only like minimal interceptions. I don't know the exact number, but something crazy. Yeah. And I get that, but you're essentially, it seems like the same player in a sense. So I would just stick with you guys and build up a team. So let's say if Hurts doesn't work out, then you're only a quarterback away. You're maybe getting someone in free agency that's like, oh, that team looks attractive. Or if you stink with Hurts, chances are your team stinks and you're going to be having an early draft pick anyways, and you can find a way to finesse Russell Wilson or something like that maybe not want to be with their organization.
All right. Once again, we got Brandon from the Philly podcast. Check him out. Links will be in the descriptions. Before we wrap this up, maybe not your hard set prediction, but if you had to guess right now who Philly is going to walk away with at pick 12, who would be your guy?
I'm going to stick to my guns and hope for the best. I'm going to go Micah Parsons here. The NFL has changed from that Ray Lewis type linebacker that's going to just smash you at the line of scrimmage and it's just intimidating, to guys like Devin Bush or anyone that has that speed that can go sideline to sideline. And Micah Parsons is that guy. He can cover, he can stop the run, he's fast. He had like a sub-4 something 40. Like that dude can straight out ball. And he didn't play last year too. So I mean, that's kind of like the weird draft that you're saying, is that people are going to be reaching on players that maybe played 2 years ago at this point. So, but what he showed, now he has fresh legs. I got to go Micah Parsons.
All right, there you have it, Micah Parsons. And like I said, Philly is one of the teams that are close to the Vikings that really doesn't scare me as far as them sniping one of our players, because our needs are fairly different. So the fact that I'm thinking that the Eagles will definitely snipe the Vikings. They'll take some.
Who are you thinking? Who are you thinking? I know you told us on our podcast, but who are you thinking right now? That was probably a month ago at this point.
Vikings are it's all over the place. The shitty part is the Cowboys, Chargers. They have very similar needs. The Giants, offensive line. So right now, hot names on the Vikings are the Christian Darrisaw, which I'm not a big fan of. Jalen Phillips. I'm seeing that guy too many damn times with the Vikings, and he scares the shit out of me just based off of his injury issues in his past. He's probably going to be fantastic. I think the Vikings are a crapshoot. I think they could actually, if for some reason a receiver falls, I could see them double dipping just because the value is too damn good. If a Micah Parsons somehow fell, I could see him taking that. When all is said and done, I want the best player available. That's it. If we take a Tevin Jenkins or somebody, I'm going to punch myself in the crotch about 14 times. Until I pass out. So it's all over the place, man. I'm terrified. It's a good terrified though.
Oh man.
It's good, man. Well, again, Brandon from Philly podcast, check him out. Thanks again for joining us, and good luck on draft day. I think you're right. I can see Micah Parsons in that green. Nice.
That'd be phenomenal. We need the help. But thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And we're definitely going to have to link up post-draft and see what our teams did and see if we're all crying and breaking stuff or happy.
Well, one thing that always happens, even if our team takes a shitty player, 5 minutes later, we love them.
That's true. We're finding all the positives.
Yes.
Within seconds.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.